Alright guys, back for another Dokkan battle video, and today we're going to go ahead and take a look and see how good the new LR Cell can be at 55% in the dupe system. Now, LR Cell is very good, right? Like, I don't want people to get that twisted. Like, right now, like, people really are kind of like on the train that Cell is just not good, which is definitely not the case, but I do think he is definitely very underwhelming compared to some recent LRs we have seen. Like, as of right now, I do think, like, the LR Super Saiyan 4s are better than Cell. Both units have horrible TUR art, by the way. Yeah, let me level them up and I'll continue my point. Alright, so we have TUR Cell leveled up. Now let's go ahead and awaken him to an LR, right? Now, the thing about Cell, right? I do think Cell is probably still a top 10 best unit in the game, but he's actually similar to Gohan and Goten, if you would believe it or not. Now, I feel like some people might not immediately understand what I mean by that, but Cell is going to be ridiculously good, insanely good, if you build the team around him. He needs that, just like LR Gohan and Goten need it. LR Tech Broly needs it. Here's the thing. Seems as though Dokkan is moving forward with units that you don't just toss on any team and they're insane, right? Seems like a lot of these units are now going to start being specialized to certain teams and need certain team builds to bring out their power, rather than something like, again, the LR Super Saiyan 4s you can kind of just throw anywhere, and same thing with like LR Kill and Caulifla, but you know, LR Gohan and Goten, LR Tech Broly, and now LR Cell, well, even in LR Gohan as well, you have to like have them on a certain type of team with a certain type of team build, or else they're actually just going to hold you back, right? As incredible as LR Gohan and Goten are, if you just toss them on a random team, they're just going to drag the overall team down. Like, if they're not able to get super attacks, they don't have any key links besides Golden Warriors, they're not going to help the rest of the team out. So you have to have very specific team builds. But if you do this, these units, of course, can be, you know, the best units in the game. So let me level them up and get them to SA20, and then we'll start hopping into some events and testing them out. Like Gohan, Cell is on 500 category teams, but unfortunately, like Gohan, they're not insane on every single one of those teams, so that's kind of the drawback. Alright guys, so we're starting out here on the Artificial Life Form team, which I do think eventually is going to become Cell's best team. If you look at the roster of characters you have, there's a lot of very good supports, such as Int Metal Cooler and then also Physical Kid Buu, who are really going to bring out Cell's real power, right? Like, look at this. This is impressive. So we're on a double 130% team, and Cell is starting out with 121,000 defense. That's very good. And again, this is a 55% LR Cell as well. So, you know, there's some people saying he's just bad. That's not true. He has the same drawbacks that Gohan and Goten do, again, you know, as I've already explained. So we'll kind of go through here. Again, I think Cell's probably going to look very, very good on this team. Like, as we're going through this Gohan and Goten event, I think Cell's going to look exceptional here. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. His defense is going to be high. He's not going to link the best, I guess, because, like, you pretty much have to have him linked with another Cell. Like, you have to use a Tech, Int, or STR Perfect Cell, pretty much. Because he has, like, Gentleman, Messenger from the Future, Ultimate Life Form, like, are just, like, nothing. So there he is at 1.1 million. Again, I mean, even for a 55% Dokkan Fest LR, I feel like that's not that good. 1.1 million, and that's with Metal Cooler. Now, again, the only link he had active, I think, was Legendary Power. We didn't have, Kamehameha, we didn't have Fierce Battle, but their insistence on giving him Gentleman, Messenger from the Future, and Ultimate Life Form really, really hurts Cell. Like, I think that's, like, one of the biggest things that just kind of is going to hold him back is those links. Again, you have to pretty much use them with a Cell. Now, on the Artificial Life Form team, I think we can get away with it because there's such good, like, support type units that are going to work well. Plus, you know, I could have brought either Tech, STR, or Int Cell. All three of them are going to work good. STR Cell, you probably want to go Int or Tech Cell, honestly, as a partner for this Cell. STR Cell, like, is probably stronger than Tech and Int Cell, but he has Revival, which Int Cell does not have until after he transforms. He can transform, you know, right away. Okay, so Android 13 is going to be helpful for LR Cell, of course, in creating a lot of Rainbow Orbs. You know, this is one of those things, this unit's not quite out on global yet in Android 13's Awakening, but, you know, I don't I can't imagine it's going to be that long away, right? Like Metal Cooler, Android 13, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, a lot of those units. Yeah, 1.7. I mean, I know that, you know, he doesn't really have links active, but man, that's not impressive. I mean, he's going to be more of a defensive unit. Like, I don't understand why, like, on his 12 key super attack, he massively lowers defense. Then on his 18 key, he greatly raises attack for 1 turn. Why did he not stack that is what I wonder. Like, if Cell stacked his attack on his 18 key super attack, that would make him a little bit better. And that would especially set him up for, like, the Legendary Goku event. You know, like, really, Cell's unit is designed to be incredibly impressive in Super Battle Road. But, like, you know, you need to be fighting multiple enemies. Like, there's just so many conditions for him. So we're going to get supered here, but, I mean, Baby is strong. So it's not like, yeah, like, we're not going to fall below 30% HP. Like, in the course of this video, I don't think we're going to fall below 30% HP naturally. So probably the last team we look at him, I'm going to head to the Legendary Goku event. I'm going to let Goku beat us up. Then we'll be able to turn into Cell's, you know, perfect form. Now, the other thing to remember with Cell is that, so we have Kid Buu's passive active. We can actually also activate Big Bad Bosses here, I think, too. Let me see. I believe so. Well, it depends on what happens with Kid Buu. I'm also going to use a couple of shoe items. This will be our last turn on Artificial Life Form right here. You know, Int, Metal Cooler, as well as Physical Kid Buu. Also, remember, the Artificial Life Form team, when we do finally get that category leader, you know, this is where Cell, again, I think is going to be at his best. So, let's see what Kid Buu does. 1.18, not bad. Hopefully, Gohan and Goten super Kid Buu. If that's the case, we'll activate Big Bad Bosses, which will give us a lot extra damage for Cell. And he does. They do. Okay, very good, very good. So now Big Bad Bosses is active, so Cell will be able to get some better numbers. He's up to 3.1 million. So, a huge jump with the 2 links, Fierce Battle as well as Big Bad Bosses. I mean, see, that's a decent... considering the fact that Cell's 55% of the dupe system, I guess that's okay with his defense, but, you know, we've seen other units that are able to just completely take a dump on that type of number, 3.1 million, even at 55%. So, let's move on to the next team. Alright, guys, so now we're over here on the Revived Warrior team. Now, the thing that kind of does hold Revived Warrior back from being, I think, Cell... Well, one reason why it's going to hold Cell back eventually from being his best team. The best actual linking partner for LR Cell is the LR Physical Cell, right? Like, they're going to match up with pretty much every link. It's just... Dude, it's the weirdest thing to me that Physical LR Cell is not in the Kamehameha category. When on his 18-key super attack, he uses the Kamehameha. The Cell Juniors are not in the Kamehameha category, and in their super attack, they use the Kamehameha. That bothers me so much. I really wish those 2 units, the Cell Juniors and then LR Physical Cell, would be added to the Kamehameha category. Like, they're saying arbitrarily that the Cell Juniors can't use the Kamehameha. Like, that's literally the only conceivable thing. Because that, like, the LR Physical Cell unit, it's Cell and then the Cell Juniors, but it's dumb. Like, it's really, really dumb. Because, you know, especially that would help out on the Kamehameha team a lot if you could run LR Cell and then the Physical LR Cell together, right? So, if you guys notice, again, with a lot of these teams, as we're trying to show Cell off, I'm just dumping a million support type units onto these teams. Like, Cell needs the key, right? Like, you know, just without transforming, he basically is going to be at 7 key at the start of turn, because he's going to give himself 1 key because of the fact that, you know, he gets an extra 20% attack and 1 key per enemy on the field, right? So for Super Battle Road, that's going to be great. You know, in this round that we're going to fight right here against the Metal Coolers, it's going to be great because now, like, Cell's going to have a lot of extra key, but for the most part, I don't think it's really going to help him out too much. So, all right, so 150,000 defense, huh? That is exceptional for a 55% unit, actually. That is really, really strong. All right, so let's see how our boy Cell is going to turn out right here. Again, he should do really good damage because he's getting, what, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100% attack from 5 enemies being there, as well as 5 extra key. So what can our boy Cell do? What number will he get to right here in his sort of, you know, non-transformed version? 3.56. See, like, for the amount of work we have to do to get that, I'm just not that impressed. But what is going to be impressive is this right here. is going to do nothing. Yeah, Cell, these guys aren't really going to be able to hurt Cell too much. This is interesting because I think this is the strongest metal cooler of the 5 right here. This is the AGL one, and he does 26k. Hardly anything bad right there. So Cell's defense is really good. And Rainbowed, his defense is going to be high enough to where he's going to be taking double digits in the Legendary Goku event, all the way up to Int UI Goku as well. He'll probably still take some damage from super attacks from Int UI Goku, but that's not really that big of a deal. So, alright, this was pretty good for the Revived Warrior team. We were able to see Cell against the, the rotation with all the metal coolers. There's a couple more teams I want to take a look at him on, so let's go ahead and hop over there now. Alright guys, so now we're over here on the Time Traveler team. This is going to be another really good team for Cell, because you have, like, all the other Cell units around here. Silas is going to be pretty good. SCR Rose is going to be pretty good. You have quite a few units that can just sort of help Cell get to the numbers of damage and stuff that you want to see from him. Plus, obviously on this team, we are able to use the Physical LR Cell as well, because Physical LR Cell he's not on Kamehameha, Full Power, or Revived Warriors. Those 3 teams, because, it's not the Cell that came back, right? It's still so dumb that he's not on Kamehameha. It literally, I don't know what they were thinking. What were they thinking? Like, he does the Kamehameha on his 18 super attack. Why is Physical LR Cell not in there? I don't understand. What were they thinking? Come on. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. So let me focus in here. So I do definitely want to see a turn where we get the 2 cells together, right? That's going to be very, very important here. So I'm actually not going to, super attack or anything on this turn. Now, what I'm going to do after this, after we see a rotation of the 2 LR cells together, I'm going to head to the Legendary Goku event. And over there, we're going to use the Cell and Android Saga team. That's going to be a good team for Cell. Well, is it a good team for Cell? Maybe not, actually. His own team might not be that good for him because, you're going to want, key support and stuff like that, right? And it's the Cell Jr., they share one link. There's not really, a big-time support type unit. I mean, Android 16, I guess, but, that requires you to have a rotation of Gohan 16 and Cell in order for that to work. So, I mean, we so badly need a Cell Saga 40% and 3 key support type unit. I mean, I cannot even begin to describe how freaking badly we need that to happen. But we don't. So, it is what it is. That Cell and Android team is really weird, man, because they've made some very odd decisions with some of these units. So, I don't know how much I like that Android/Cell Saga team. It's despite the fact that they added a lot to it, right? LR Gohan, LR Cell, Cell Jr., Android 16, we got Android 18, and Krillin coming soon. That Cell and Android team just does not blow me away. I don't know. What could I say? I don't know. Okay, so next turn, we're going to have the rotation that we want. So here's what we need to do as well. Is not super attack as my... Oh, okay, well, okay. I want to not super attack as much as possible here, so we can have a lot of these units alive for next turn. Or maybe we'll get beat up at the same time, and in the process, we can get Cell's transformation. But one reason I'm going to go over the Legendary Goku event is I do want to use Cell's active skill at least once in this video. Cell's active skill does not have as bad of a restriction as I originally thought. The wording of it is tricky, right? So, Cell's active skill, I'm going to read you verbatim, the wording, but, okay, it's weird. Okay, so he greatly raises attack wait, no, that's what he actually does with it. Okay, so, yeah, he greatly raises attack temporarily, does ultimate damage, massively lowers defense, yep. But it can be activated when facing only one enemy starting from the 3rd turn after evolution. So, initially, I thought it was saying 3 turns after he transforms, he could use his active skill. But what it's actually saying is you got to transform, and it also has to be 3 turns into the fight, right? So, Cell, if in turn 1 you take, down to 20% HP, he immediately transforms, you're not going to be able to get his active skill. But if you transform in 3rd turn, he could use his active skill right away, the Solar Kamehameha. It's honestly... It's not that bad of a restriction. I think he still does have the worst restriction in the game for his active skill, but it's not as bad initially as I thought. but it's still like you have to fall below that 30% HP, which is just very unlikely, I guess we could say. So we took a lot of damage there. Not enough, unfortunately. I do want to get an 18 key with Cell. See, here's another issue, too. So, like, Tech Cell and then this LR Cell, like, heal. Like, it's so difficult to fall below that 30% HP. Like, it's just so dumb. They should have just given them turns. Like, this LR Cell should have just transformed after 3 turns. So 3.52, not bad. But 3 turns, Cell transforms, boom. Like, nothing about his card even needs to be changed. Like, Gohan, if you change around his active skill, look at that. That Cell hit harder. That's so disgraceful. But Gohan, if you would amend his active skill, Gohan, his transformed version probably would need to be changed. Like, or else he actually would probably be the second best unit in the game. But Cell, if you just, like, change his transformation restriction, he doesn't become one of the 2 best units in the game. He's a lot better, very good, but not one of the best units in the game. So they definitely, it's funny, they messed up way more on Cell than they did on Gohan. So, all right, now I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to the Legendary Goku event. I'm just going to skip right until the turn where we get a transformation, and we can go ahead and see, like, the Solar Kamehameha and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and skip to the Legendary Goku event, and we'll be able to at least see a turn with Perfect Cell, right? Okay, we're actually going to get the transformation here in this event. Okay, I did not expect that to happen, but we're going to get this. So this is cool. One extra good thing about Cell, this is something that's going to be very good for Super Battle Road, by the way, is when Cell transforms, he, of course, does bring us up to full health. And there we go. So, Cell works like Trunks and Zamasu, and that then he'll be able to get that active skill 1 turn after transformation, right? So, at the very least, we are going to be able to see Cell get an 18 key super attack right here in his transformed version. Now let's go to the Legendary Goku event where I can go ahead and get his active skill actually used. I do want to use it at least 1 time. So let's see with Cell, what number he gets up to. 2.33. So, I mean, without getting a ton of orbs, not the greatest for how difficult it is to get there. That was pretty underwhelming. Alright guys, so in the Legendary Goku event, and we get a transformation. So Cell will completely heal us as well as get a lot stronger, right? Now the main thing I do want to focus on with Cell's transformation, oh, this is actually a really good turn for him too. Okay, so this is going to be Cell with 6 orbs, so we're going to be able to activate 40% extra attack and defense right here, which is really good. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab all that. So that's strong. I'm also going to give a shoe item so that Cell will get up to full health. The friend Cell is 55% in the dupe system, by the way. I did make sure to get a friend Cell who is 55% as well, since, this is a video on a 55% Cell. We also have the best Android category support type unit on rotation, so this is going to be a really good rotation for 55% LR Cell. Let's see what he gets. 3.44. Okay. All right. That's good. But considering we had to do as much as we did to get this, it's also not good. That is without Big Bad Boss as active as well. Man, this Cell, offensively, he is just very underwhelming. Why did they make him so underwhelming offensively? I do not understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know if they're scared because he has Big Bad Bosses. Like, once that's active, he just does so much damage or what. But, like, it's just so obvious that they're petrified of this Cell, maybe having, like, additional attacks or something like that. And then potentially having Big Bad Bosses as well. Like, I don't know, man. I just think... do I think that LR Gogeta and Vegito are better than this Cell? That's a tough one. That is actually tough. I don't know. I'd have to think about it more. I mean, Gohan is definitely head and shoulders better than Cell. The Super Saiyan 4s are definitely head and shoulders better than Cell. No doubt about that. But are the fusions? I'd have to really think about that. Like, Goku and Frieza, I would probably say are better than Cell. Tech Broly, I mean, I would probably say he's better than Cell, A bit disappointing. Let's go ahead and get his active skill now. Turn after he transformed. 3 turns more into the fight, and we're able to get it. So let's go ahead and activate that. You know, I can't help but think that was a little bit underwhelming as well. Like, again, just to further add insult to injury to Cell, he does not have, like, the same amount of damage on his active skill that the LR Super Saiyan 4s do. It's just very, very bizarre choices all around for these Cell units, man. I don't really understand what they were going for. But this is Cell, and I don't know. Like his leader skill, like Extreme Int and Super AGL as secondaries for Gohan and Cell. Like that's the other thing I think that hurts him. Like double category leaders are far superior. So like, it's like this Gohan and Cell, like they should have come out a long time ago, is what I think. I think these guys, would they have been better as the 4-year anniversary units? I don't know. I mean, because the Super Saiyan 4s are not as good as Gohan, but they're better than Cell. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But let's go ahead and take a look at Cell's info now. So this is the true value of perfect form, Cell perfect form. His leader skill is the Android/Cell Saga category key 4, 150% to HP and attack, and 170% to defense. Then he gives Extreme Int 3 key and 120% to stats. So, I mean, I guess, you know, doing things like running Metal Cooler on that team, you know, putting maybe Int Janemba on there probably are a good idea, because the overall category is just not as impressive. Like, it actually needs to be filled out a little bit more. His 12-key super attack is the perfect attack, which does colossal damage and massively lowers defense, which is pointless. His 18-key super attack is the Kamehameha, which greatly raises attack for 1 turn and does mega colossal damage to the enemy. That's the reason we were seeing his pre-transformed version do more damage, by the way, is for him greatly raising attack on his 18 key, and once he transforms, he no longer greatly raises attack on his 18 key, which hurts. His passive skill, A Serious Game, is 80% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then he gets an additional 80% defense that'll scale, you know, higher or lower, depending upon how high his HP is, right? And then he gets an additional 1 key and 20% attack per existing enemy. So you use this Cell on Super Battle Road, and he is a juggernaut. Outside of Super Battle Road, he doesn't seem as impressive. His transformation condition is HP under 30%. We'll get to that again in a second here. His links are Gentleman, Messenger from the Future, Big Bad Bosses, Kamehameha, Ultimate Life Form, Fierce Battle, and Shocking Speed. What were they thinking? His TUR has Shocking Speed. They took that off for Legendary Power. Why does he need Gentleman, Messenger from the Future, and Ultimate Life Form? Before you say anything, Gohan units, like LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, the Int one, has Gaze of Respect. Likewise, a pointless link. AGL LR Gohan does not have Gaze of Respect. They didn't need to give Cell Gentleman, Messenger from the Future, and Ultimate Life Form. It's stupid. It's just really dumb. It really limits him in such a pointless manner. His 12-key multiplier is 150%, and his 24-key multiplier is 200%. So, I mean, there we go with his basic details. Very, very disappointing by LR Cell. I mean, so they've given us 2 LR Cells now. Like, the physical one, I think, is maybe one of the worst summonable LRs. I think he's right there in the bottom 2 with probably LR SCR Broly. And then now they gave us the worst Dokkan Fest exclusive LR easily. Probably, I think, in LR Cell right here. So he is on a ton of category teams. First, he's on the Android/Cell Saga team. Then he's also over here on the Revived Warrior team. That'll be a strong team for him. He's also on the Full Power team, where he's not going to work good at all. I mean, you could run a rotation of 2 cells, but, I mean, besides that, it's not going to work. Well, I guess it is kind of like the Full Power / Movie Boss team, right? So, you know, then you have, like, Int Metal Cooler, Turles. I don't know, maybe that would actually be pretty good for him. Then, of course, we have the Android category team down here, which is good. You know, he's going to be a very, very, very big-time unit for that Android Super Battle Road. Here we have the Enhanced Transformation team that he's on, which maybe he could be pretty good. You know, it does have like Kid Buu, it does have, you know, GT Cell as a support type unit. He is also over here on this is Time Travelers right here. Very good team for him. He's on Artificial Life Forms, which I think eventually will be his #1 team. And then finally, he is on the Kamehameha team, LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's category. So stupid that Cell Jr. and Physical LR Cell are not on there. The dumbest ever. It is the dumbest ever. So then, does have his transformation. All you have to have is your HP to fall below 30%, which doesn't, like, it's like when you say it, like, oh, so Cell could be transformed turn 2. Awesome. Except you're not going to fall, like, literally, even the Legendary Goku event, you're not going to fall below 30% HP in the first turn. Goku's not strong enough yet. He doesn't attack enough yet. It's only, Super Battle Road only is the only place where you'll ever be, like, getting this Cell in turn 2. Unless you have, like, no units on the leader skill, or all of your units are 0% in the dupe system or something like that. It's wild that they thought it was a good idea. Along, like, because it's not like Cell has a bad transformation condition, but, like, the rest of his card has weaknesses as well. Very bizarre. So, after transforming, his super attack changes, as well as his passive, and then, of course, he gains an active skill, and then he has one link that changes, right? I believe it's Gentleman becomes Revival is what changes for Cell. But, alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at his new details here. So, his 12-key super attack is the Perfect Shot, which does colossal damage and massively lowers defense. Pointless. His 18-key super attack, the Perfect Death Beam, does mega colossal damage and lowers attack and defense. So, that lowering attack will definitely be helpful in Super Battle Road, no doubt about it. But, I mean, him not greatly raising attack anymore hurts as well. His passive, Impeccable. So, he fully heals HP when transforming, which is good. That's obviously, like, for Super Battle Road 2, super good ability. Then he gets 4-key and 120% attack and defense at the start of turn. Not bad. And then he gets 20% attack and defense with 4 or more key spheres. And then an additional 20% attack and defense with 6 or more key spheres. And then an additional 20% attack with 8 or more key spheres. So, pretty good, but definitely seemed a lot better when Cell was doing that on turn 3 with no other restrictions initially. But that's, you know, not how it turned out, right? Then, of course, his active skill, the Solar Kamehameha, greatly raises attack temporarily, does ultimate damage, massively lowers defense, and then it can be activated when facing only one enemy, starting from the 3rd turn after evolution. So, it's like, the wording is horrible here, but basically the way it works is, it has to be 3 turns or later into the fight, and then I think the turn after Cell transforms, he can use it, basically. Or, I guess, because unless they count that very first turn as, like as soon as he transforms, that's already a turn pass. Then the 2nd turn, then the 3rd turn, he shows up and he's able to use it. It's just, the wording is, like, so bad on that active skill. It's really, it's not crystal clear how it works by the wording, but, you know, we've seen it a couple of times now. Usually what happens is Cell will transform, and then his next turn he could use it, similar to Trunks and Zamasu, right? Except Trunks and Zamasu have the easiest transformation condition in the game, turn 3, and Cell has maybe the worst, under 30% HP. So, you know, bit of a shame there. So then, you know, he does have the one link change. Gentleman just becomes Revival. And then there we go. There is our boy LR Perfect Cell. They let us down with Cell. They really did. He should have been way better. Like, he's good. I'm not going to call him bad, but there's negatives sprinkled all over this card in a very disappointing way. So, let me know what you guys think of him. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.